how to say words correctly. In other words, how to pronounce words as they ought to be, which may be different, by the way, from the manner and the circumstances in which we may have come to acquire them on account of our ethnicity, country of origin, accent, how we might have heard them be uttered all these years. And with this in mind, I've assembled a word list of 100 of the most frequently mispronounced words in the English language, chosen from the point of view of non-native speakers like you and me, no matter we are in Japan, Brazil, India, Singapore, Kenya, and so on. Now, we shouldn't think that this is relevant only for beginners. If anything, I would say that it probably is more meaningful for those further along because even otherwise fluent, well-educated speakers from leading universities and top professional organizations, even good teachers who teach the language for a living, will often mispronounce words and diminish, I dare say, on that account their own standing because the fact of the matter is, we do form our impressions of people from how they speak, say their words, i.e. their diction. We tend to knock down a few points from our impressions of them every time they mispronounce a word. Now, just to be sure, that is not being pretentious. It is not a judgment on whether that is right or not. It's merely an observation of just how it is out there in the real world for what it is worth. Anyway, coming back, the focus of this module is essentially going to be on basic words, elementary words, words you wouldn't think anyone would mispronounce because they are seemingly simple, but they happen to be just those words that need the extra care, nurturing, and attention, only because they come up so often in our conversation and are so commonly mispronounced when quite frankly there isn't a real reason that it be so. So I hope you find this helpful and that it does impact you in a nice way, whether you're amongst friends, teachers, or colleagues at work. So let's get on right with it. This is part 1 of 10 of the beginners module. Now, the first word on the screen, if this is how you are saying it, develop, you've certainly come to the right place because the correct way to say this word is develop. Develop my English language or my vocabulary skills, or develop a new approach to solving this problem. It is not develop. So I hope you can hear and feel the distinction. So you just want to take it easy and say develop, like develop. Word number 2 is comment, which is a remark or an observation. So please leave your comments below. I don't appreciate those comments, right? It is not comment. It is not comment. So, hey, do you have any feedback or comments on this video? Is not correct. Rather, what you want to say is, hey, do you have any feedback or comments on this video? So, remember, this and the other words in this list are disarmingly simple words, but it's the simple words that often trip us frequently, and so we just want to be that much more careful. So comment more with a K sound rather than a C sound. Word number 3 is photography. Photography, right? As in the photography of Steve McCurry, a photography as a hobby. What you don't want to be saying is photography. You don't want to be saying photography. So if you look at this screen, the word comprises of 4 syllables, and it's really here on the second syllable where you want to feel that thud, right? So photography. So it gives it that nice ring that you might be looking for. So do remember it's photography and not photography. And I wouldn't mind as you are saying out loud these words that you exaggerate some of these sounds because that would be okay. Because in time you learn to modulate the sound in any case. So for instance, in this word, you want to, especially early on, you want to say photography, photography, photography. And then as you build the confidence and as you become more familiar with this word, you'll start getting it to a more general sound, which would be photography, right? Word number 4 is economics or economics. So my favorite subject in college was economics, and the Nobel Prize in economics or economics, right? What it is not is the mutated form economics. Economics. I'm not certain how we came about saying it in this manner, but economics was my favorite subject in college, is incorrect, and therefore you want to avoid saying it. So I will, of course, not know all the different varieties or mutations of the way these words are mispronounced. So what I would ask that you focus your attention on the correct pronunciation and then contextualize it based on how you might be possibly saying it, or those in your environment might be saying it, and then work on that basis. And I think that should work. So again, economics or economics. Word number 5. Now, the second part of the word, fast or fast, depending on kind of the British or the American take on the word, is straightforward, as is the first part of the word. It's only when it's combined, it doesn't lead, as you would think, to breakfast. It doesn't lead to breakfast. Instead, it is breakfast. Breakfast. So you want the emphasis, the stress on the first syllable, breakfast. So it's breakfast in bed and not breakfast in bed. Nobody's going to give you breakfast in bed. Word number 6 is expertise, like his expertise in trade and commerce in South America. It is not, I'm afraid, expertise. So there is no such word as expertise. It's remarkable how many people across the world would mispronounce this word and say expertise. So again, just to be sure, it's expertise in the manner of please, cheese, knees, Chinese, Japanese, rupees. Okay, excellent. So again, expertise, the emphasis on the last syllable, tease, not expertise. Word number 7 is opportunity, or the American permutation is opportunity. Now, either of the two is fine. I personally much prefer the former, opportunity. I find saying opportunity somewhat clumsy and awkward, but that's just me. So the correct way to say it would be, if opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. Certainly an incorrect way, which is again very commonly mispronounced and said, is opportunity. This is your opportunity to impress me. That is certainly not going to leave me or anyone else for that matter, impressed. So it will sound very lousy, it sounds very second rate, so you don't want to say opportunity. Instead, you want to say opportunity or opportunity. So like that, opportunity or opportunity. Word number 8, again, a very common word. We encounter it almost every day, but equally it's very commonly mispronounced. And how we trip up as non-natives is, if you look at the component parts, the emphasis really ought to be on the second syllable. So percent. So success is 99% luck. I am 20% sure she will like me. Where we tend to trip up often is we put the emphasis on the first syllable instead. So this is how it sounds like percent. So 99% or 25%. Right? So as you'll agree, that sounds rather dreadful, a bit sloppy, so you definitely don't want to be saying it that way. Word number 9, so we're getting toward the end of this module. Famous is very straightforward, everybody gets it. It's really when we combine it with the prefix in. Again, logically you would think it would be infamous, right? But it turns out that that is incorrect. And the correct way to say this word is infamous. Infamous. So again, the kind of like the dip, the stress, the momentum on this word, infamous, and not infamous. Not infamous. Bravo. So word number 10. which coincidentally is also the 10th month of the year, October. October. It is not October. It is not October as some would have you believe. It is October. So the emphasis, the weight on the second syllable right here, October. So just to recap, stated correctly, the 10 words we covered today are develop, comment, photography, economics or economics, breakfast, expertise, opportunity or opportunity, percent, infamous, and October. So that wasn't so bad. I hope not. Remember, and this is not me saying it, but some wise person, speech is a habitual, a learned process leading to a learned behavior, to which I might add, especially for us non-native speakers. Now, when you attempt to change that sort of thing, it has to take a while. So spend the time. There is no substitute for practicing these words. There is no substitute for saying out loud repeatedly till you get comfortable, because it will be well worth it. Because every time you feel you get stuck, which sure enough you will feel on several occasions, you have to double into it. You have to give it a proper go. So plunge into it. Don't feel shy. Don't feel hesitant. Don't be afraid. Keep practicing. Keep saying it loud. And when you come out on the other side, I can assure you that there will be a lot of satisfaction to be had, because it's a wonderful feeling to be saying words as they are meant to be said. So I hope this all makes sense. I invite you to share your comments and feedback, so we can try to be more relevant and more helpful. This is my first video, and I just want to get better as we go up these modules. And of course, we'd love for you to subscribe to our channel. We have some very cool and practical modules coming up that should help you in your kind of daily conversations. So that's it for today. You have yourself a good day now. Ciao, ciao.